Hey, hi friends, welcome to the session of BSc IT question and answer series. Myself Guru, and today we are going to see the topic from a BSc IT question paper, that is what is a delegate in C Sharp and steps involved in creating and using the delegate. So this was the same question was asked in October 2010 for 8 marks. So it is very important question. So for getting the marks, so if you guys have any doubts or any queries regarding this session, okay, regarding this topic, regarding the delegate, feel free to ask me. Feel free to post your queries on gurumatrix2004@gmail.com. So let's start our session now. So friends, let's understand what is a delegate. So let's start with the delegate. So let me just open up my notepad and let me write a delegate. So as a simple one-liner definition, delegate is nothing but an abstract pointer reference to the methods or of functions. Yes, delegate are basically C# pointers, Yes, we have a C++ function pointers also, but the only difference between the C++ function pointers and C# delegate pointers is C++ function pointers are not type safe, where delegates pointers are type safe. So delegate is basically abstract pointer reference to a methods or function, and it is a type safe pointer. Type safe, okay, the type safe means it is pretty simple, Type safe means the compiler will catch straight away if you have written the code inappropriately. If the code is not proper, the compiler can catch easily. So that is called as type safe pointers. Okay, so now the delegate is also helps to encapsulate the method name. It also helps to encapsulate the method names and calls it asynchronously. So the one more advantage of using the delegate, okay, that it is a type safe pointer. Yes, we know that. And another advantage is that it encapsulates the method name, okay, so whatever the method name is there, and calls it asynchronously. So that is the advantage of using the delegate. Now let's create the syntax of delegate. Let's see the syntax of a delegate. So syntax of a delegate, it's pretty simple. It starts with the access modifier public delegate keyword, let's say void method. Now this is the syntax of a delegate. Let's see in different style. Public delegate int method int x comma int y. Okay, now this is the syntax of a delegate. Now one more point, when you declare a delegate, the signature of the delegate should be matched with the method which you want to encapsulate. Yes, the signature of the delegate should match with the method which you want to encapsulate. Okay, what do you mean by signature? Means this is a signature, this is a style, that is void method with no input parameters, and this is another one with a data type integer and a method with two input types, that is int x and int y. Now this style should match, this signature style should match with the method, which you want to encapsulate. Now related, now let me just create the related methods, that exactly match with these signatures. So let's create for first one. So public void, and let's say new method. Now this method, yes, this new method is exactly matching with this signature. Now let me do it for below one. Public int add int z int comma D, return Z plus D. So hey friends, as you can see that when you declare the signature of the delegate, please remember that that signature should match with the this signature should match with the method which we want to encapsulate. Okay, so as you can see that the signature is matching, that is int method with two input parameters, and here also the same thing, that is a data type integer and the same input parameter with two input parameters basically. So when you declare a delegate, when you declare the syntax of a delegate, please remember that that signature of the delegate should match with the methods which you want to encapsulate. So this is all about the delegates. Okay, so delegate is abstract pointer reference to the methods or function. It is also called as type safe pointers. Okay, whereas a C++ function pointers are not type safe. Okay, and it helps to encapsulate the method names and calls it asynchronously. So the advantage of using the delegate, that it encapsulates the method name and calls it asynchronously. So when you create the syntax of the delegate, only remember that the signature of the delegate should match with the method name which you want to encapsulate, like this. The void method and the signature is matching. Yes, the another signature is public delegate int method with two input parameters, and here also integer with two input parameters. Okay, so signature is matching. No need of matching the name, this name can be anything, just matching the signature. So this is everything is about the delegate. Now let's go back to our topic and let's see what are the steps involved in creating and using the delegate. So to do this example, we will use a console application, that is Visual Studio 2010 console application. So let's do that. So now let me just open up my Visual Studio 2010. Okay, so I'm just Visual Studio 2010. So I'm going to create the console application in this. So now to create the console application is pretty simple. Go to the file on top menu, say new, go to the project, select the console application. As you can see that my language is Visual C# on the right hand side, and here also I selected Visual C#. Okay, console application. My framework is 4.0, and let me just give the nice name as Delegate. Say okay, and now Visual Studio is creating the console application environment for me. Done. As you can see that my console application has been created successfully with some default libraries, as you can see here, and with a nice namespace and a class program with a main method. So yes, so let me just create a simple class to start with, a simple class like public class CLS maths. Okay, inside this let me just create a simple method. I'm sorry, let's say public int add with two input parameters, int y. Now let me just return with addition x plus why. Yeah. So friends, let me just tell you the simple steps for creating the delegate. Let me just illustrate the simple steps for creating the delegate. That is, just follow DCPI protocol. So we will follow this DCPI protocol, that is declare, create, point, and invoke. So by using this DCPI protocol, we will try to create the delegate. Okay, we will try to create the delegate and use the delegate. Okay, so first is declare the delegate. First step is declaring. So public delegate int let's say my delegate, that is int a comma int b. Okay, now we are done with the first step, that is declare. Now let's create the delegate. Now let's create the delegate reference, delegate object reference. Second step is creating the delegate object reference. So for that, okay, let me just copy this, let me just do this practical here only in my main program, so it will be pretty easy. Now what I will do, let's forget this CLS maths. Okay, so first step, what we did here, we have just created declared the delegate, that is my delegate int a comma int b. Okay, that is exactly, the signature is exactly matching with the method, that is addition add int x comma y. Now let's create the reference of the delegate object. So for that, let me just say my delegate to obj delegate equal to null. Okay, so now the next step is point the method to the delegate object, the point which we want to encapsulate, the method which we want to use, that method we should point to the delegate object. So let me just point the method which I want to encapsulate. Let me give the name as static. Because I don't want to create the object, so that's why just. Okay, as you can see friends, we are done. First step, we have just declared the delegate, that is exactly matching the signature to the method add. Okay, now the next step, what we did, we have just created the reference. that is we have created the object of delegate. Okay, and third step, we have just pointed the delegate, by using the delegate object we have just pointed our method which we want to encapsulate. Okay, which we want to invoke in a generalized way. So this is the first step, this is the second step, and this is the third step, and final step is invoke. So let's invoke now by using the object. So to invoke it, just say obj delegate. Let me just display the message as console.writeLine, using console.writeLine obj delegate dot invoke 5 plus 10. Okay, so we are done. As you can see that we have followed the DCPI protocol, that is first declaring the delegate signature, that is my delegate. Second step, we have just created the object of delegate. Third step, pointed the method which we want to encapsulate, which we want to invoke, okay, in a generalized way. Fourth step, we have just invoked the delegate. So now let me just run this program. 15, as you can see the output is 15. So by using the delegate object we have encapsulated the actual method name, that is add, and invoke it in a generalized way. You can remove this invoke and you can also see the output. Just remove the invoke and just run this. So as you can see 15. So now let's say you want to use this delegate signature for let's say multiple methods. How you can do that. So let me just show you. Let me create a same class, that is public class CLS maths. Okay, and now let me just take out everything here from here. Let me remove the static. Let me just delete this. Okay, now let me just create another method here with the same signature, that is multiplication, let's say. Now as you can see friends, we have a delegate signature that is exactly matching with the two methods, multiple methods, that is addition and multiplication. Now we want to call this methods, we want to invoke these methods one by one, or let's say any one. So how we can do that? So how to do this? So let me just create a new method, public delegate, public my delegate, point me, so by using the pointer we will do this, int get pointer. Now let me just create a second step, that is create the delegate object. So let me just create the delegate object here. Equal to null. Now let's say if my get pointer is equal to 1, else so this is my, if my get pointer is equal to 1, I am doing this fourth step, pointing the methods to the delegate object. Add obj delegate equal to multiplication. Finally, returning of delegate object. Okay, so we are done with the 3 step, that is first declaring the delegate, creating the object of delegate, and pointing the methods which we want to invoke in a generalized way. 4th step, let's do it now. To do this 4th step, let's create the object of CLS maths. It's equal to obj maths. So obj equal to new CLS maths. Okay, now let me just display the message as console dot write line, and let me call this by using the CLS maths object obj dot point me. I am passing, let's say, 0. Okay, dot invoke (5, 2). Okay, we are done. Now let me just build this, and now let me run this. As you can see, we are done with the 4th step, that is invoke also. So now let me just run this. 10. As you can see, 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. Now let me just say point me is 1, and let me just run this. 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. So this is the way we can call multiple methods of same signature using the delegate delegate object. Okay, this is the first step, declaring the delegate, and these are the methods which exactly matching the signature of the delegate, and this is where I have created the delegate object, and this is where I pointed the method which I want to invoke in a generalized way, and this is where I have invoked. So this is the 4 simple steps to create the delegate, that is DCPI protocol. So follow the DCPI protocol and create the delegate, and use the delegate in your program. So friends, if you have any doubts or any queries, feel free to mail me on this email ID, that is gurumatrix2004@gmail.com. So thank you friends, have a nice day. Thank you very much. Yeah.